So when I went to Nice, I didn't do as much photo walking with the hat on and the camera. And the reason was I was just really aware that people were really aware of me. They were like looking at me all the time. So I was like, well, okay, I don't think it's especially intrusive, and I know it's legal to walk around and do like a photo shoot like I was doing, but I didn't want to like add to people's anxiety even more. So I just decided, you know what, I'm good. I'll just shoot my photos. Plus I was experimenting with a couple of things. I was trying some of my different cameras, like my Ricoh. I was trying the Fujifilm I have. So I don't know. I just was doing what I was doing. But I have more photos to show you. And I was like, well, I can just put music behind them, and I will. You hear the music. But I will also, I want to just go through some of the photos I took and why I take the things I do. We've had a talk like this before. I'm going to repeat it. So this is a little unsteady because I'm shaking it. I'm hand holding here. So let's take a look at some of these photos together. So when I go to any place, I cheat and I look at maps and I look at videos and I look and see what anyone else is talking about a place. So this first picture, this is what it's like everywhere in Nice. One person said, I couldn't really believe the verticality. Like you look up. I mean, look at my place. So like you look up, and I was like, I'm gonna look for those kinds of shots. So there were these scenes in the alleys, especially in old part of Nice. I think it might just be called Old Nice. And there was some real verticality. So that's the first thing I shot for. The second was when I went to the old town, there were so many things to shoot, but I wanted a mix of tourist type stuff and real stuff. So for instance, there's scooters kind of rolling around in this area, but this is like, you know, people live there and there's a crap ton of tourists, and this is a rather small zone. So I heard these tourists walking by. They were speaking English, of course, because American tourists are some of the worst. And they're like, how come that person's on their scooter? Don't they know we're trying to shop here? And I was like, because people live here. So this is just a scooter. It wasn't the scooter. It kept raining. It was like torrential, and then it would stop dead. And then it would be torrential, and it would stop dead. So I was testing the water resistance of my camera with some of these shots. But look at that pretty orange. Look at the rain and everything like that. Look at the yellow kind of offsetting it on the other side. Isn't that pretty? So many parts of this city were so colorful. I have a lot of photos where the names of the photos, like when I save my photos, I name them really stupid things. I will never find them again without the help of AI. This photo is called brushback because paintbrushing. A brushback pitch in baseball is when the pitcher throws it a little close to the batter to kind of like threaten him a little. Butchers. There were some really active butcheries, and they were lit very colorfully. So I did one shot in color. A little later we'll get to one where it's not in color. Oh, it's right here. So the reason it wasn't in color is because, boy, all that red meat sure looks a little intense when it's under very pink lamps. So there was that. This is the Riviera. And the real part of the shot was this plane up in the sky. There's nothing to this shot. It's just the ocean. But the ocean was beautiful. Clouds are beautiful. It was just a bunch of stuff. It's not like the best photo. This is a market. I liked the market, but I also liked the guy in the blue outfit. It's a little darker than it needs to be, but I really liked the market look and the colors. Another one of those streets. This one, Old Nice, just made me think of like Harry Potter and Diagon Alley or whatever. So I thought that was kind of neat. So I've got a bunch of shots of it, and it was just kind of fun. You walk through these like catacomb sort of things. You just like around a whole bunch of corners. Everything was curving. Everything was going up and down and around. Just beautiful colors though. Look at this. Amazing to look at. Doors. I do a lot of doors. Carrie, my co-host on the Backpack Show, loves to see doors, so I always keep that in mind. This picture just makes me happy. This is a whole bunch of people who are on Segways, but like, look at their faces. They're not happy. Like they're like in France doing tourism, and they look miserable for some reason. I just thought that was so super funny. This is a nice rainy day with the most pretty bright colored shirt, and anything like that catches your attention. It's so fun, right? That's so cool. Okay, so this picture, I turn the corner and there's this giant, stupid plastic bear. Ridiculous. But look at it. It was raining and stuff. I was like, look at this beautiful picture of old France and this giant plastic bear. Colors and shapes, how can you not? The one unfortunate thing in this photo is right below the bottom part of this photo, there's a woman eating a sandwich, and I know she thought I was taking a photo of her sandwich. So I tried, like, after I took my actual shot, I like tilted my camera way up and tried to make it really, I was like pantomiming taking a shot that didn't have her in it. By extension, or contrast, or whatever, I was definitely shooting this person. Now, what's kind of funny is, I'll go back and grab it. That photo and this photo about the bike are the exact same scene. I was standing there and I saw the woman and I saw the bike and I said, this is two different photos. So I did the woman on her phone. Kind of lame to do people on their phone pictures, but she just looks so like tucked into the alley there with the gold behind her and everything. And I did the bike and I was like, haha, I've gotten two scenes for the price of one. One of my favorite things to shoot, and I just found out today actually that Martin Parr, who's like a legendary street photographer, Martin Parr used to do a lot of the same thing. I always call this shooting the shooter because that person's shooting with their camera as well. This is a tourist ass place. You're gonna run into other shooters. So it was really fun. I don't know. I like this pic. This one again is, bikes, but it's raining out and there's a bicycle. I love to take pictures of bikes and scooters. I don't know, maybe the circles, I don't know. Always makes me excited and happy. But all these people kind of tucked in because of the rain. This is another picture where this scene is right here. And then this lady with the bright orange coat is right there. Like I just saw both at the same time. And actually, this picture too. I turned a little left and I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. It's like a theater or something. So it's fun how sometimes you'll see the composition of an area and it'll look like a bunch of places, but it's really just a bunch of shots. I called this one the heart of Nice. It's not, it's just another part of the place. Completely out of order, these photos, by the way, I just realized, because look, here's the Riviera again. But these two people, one is possibly sleeping, relaxing. Maybe that's where they had to sleep all night. I don't know. But there it is. There's the Riviera. One interesting thing about Nice is that the beaches are pebbles and rocks, not sand. So ow your feet. In those shops, there were some amazing things. It was so interesting to me to see a whole collection of olives, but also lemons. I was like, yeah, lemons and olives. That's the natural thing that happens. Speaking of lemons and olives, look at this wall. It's lemon and olive. This is the same wall. This is like the corner of a building. One side had that green, one side had that yellow, and I just stood right in the middle of it and said, this is a photo. That's kind of the fun of it. This photo, my friend Chloe had a better version of the story than I did because she saw the woman kind of looking in one direction and the guy checking out the knives. So it sounds almost sinister when she says it that way. So I love that. And that's where we end it, right? So that was that pile. Let me just double check. I think I might just have a couple tiny bit more. Oh, went out to dinner. I went out to dinner at this little French restaurant, very popular for their meat plates, I guess. It was with a team. So this drawer was right by where we were eating. And what was kind of nuts about it was they used it for the silverware, they used it for the placemats, they used it for cutting bread to put on the tables. It was a very functional little cabinet sort of a thing. Here's the bread they were cutting, baguettes, right out of central casting French baguette, crunchy and whatever. It was very interesting. It turned out that it was a supermoon. I was walking home with Alicia, who works for me in the learning experience team, and she mentioned the very next day, she goes, it's a supermoon, and I was like, I didn't know. This part of town we stayed in was really interesting. I thought this picture was so pretty. It's just a night shot, the trams and all that kind of a thing. So that was that. And then the very last one, I just thought this was hilarious because it's just basically a sign saying, be careful when you walk with your kid. But that scuff on the sign, I made it look, in my head, I thought, no mutant powers. So there you go. Those are the leftovers that I didn't quite get into my other Nice video because I hadn't shot any video to go with it. But there you are. Do you like any? Get in the comments. Leave me a message. Tell me a little bit about what ones you liked or what ones really caught your attention or made you think of something. Talk to me. And also, be really good to you. It's important.